She wrote him hundreds of messages in her head, but only one on paper. The letter that never left her hands. It was never mailed, because she didn't know if he'd care to read it. Eleanor was 72. A retired teacher who once began every day with tea and a reason. Now only tea remained. When you stop being needed, the house gets louder, not with noise, but with memory. Every sound became a ghost of what used to be alive. She would sit by the window, holding her cup, and think about the years that had passed too quietly. Her son, Daniel, hadn't called in 8 days. That wasn't unusual anymore. They say children outgrow toys. No one warns you they outgrow people, too. She smiled at that thought, the kind that hurts quietly. In her small wooden desk lay a drawer that had become a time capsule. Inside it, folded carefully, was the letter. Her fingers traced the handwriting, faded but familiar. She had written it on a winter night 2 years ago. Snow pressed against the window, and the clock ticked like a heartbeat that had forgotten what to live for. Dear Daniel, she had written, I'm sorry for all the times I made you feel like love had rules. I wanted you to be strong, but maybe I forgot to teach you tenderness. I wanted you to succeed, but maybe I forgot to show you how to rest. She stopped there. The words after that refused to come. Letters are strange things. They don't know if they will ever be read. Days turned into seasons. The letter stayed in the drawer, and so did her hope. She watched the world move past her window, neighbors arguing, children playing, birds leaving and returning. Everything kept coming back except him. One afternoon, she went through old photographs. In one, Daniel was 6, covered in mud, laughing so hard he couldn't breathe. She had been laughing too. That picture used to hang in the kitchen. Now it sat inside a box. Love doesn't disappear. It just changes its form until you don't recognize it anymore. She folded her hands and whispered, I hope he's happy. But the silence didn't answer. Loneliness is not the absence of people. It's the presence of someone who isn't coming back. Months later, she fell ill. It wasn't serious, but serious enough for the nurse to ask if there was someone they could call. Eleanor hesitated. Her lips moved, but no name came out. That night, she came home and opened the drawer again. The letter waited, patient and unblinking. She read it aloud this time. Dear Daniel, if you're reading this, it means I didn't send it in time. But I hope you still hear me somewhere. I was never angry, only proud. I was never disappointed, only quiet. Maybe that silence was my biggest mistake. Her eyes blurred. A tear fell and smudged the ink. The words bled, but somehow felt lighter. She folded the paper carefully and placed it back. Maybe next Sunday, she said softly. Maybe next Sunday. We always think there's more time to call, to explain, to forgive. But time has its own schedule. It never confirms the appointment. Weeks passed. Then, one morning, the mailman found the envelope on the porch. It was addressed, but unsealed. Inside, one final line had been added. I loved you. Even in the silence. They found her peacefully, sunlight touching her face. No phone near her, no words left unsaid, except one letter that never made its journey. And yet, somehow, it did. Because somewhere, across another quiet morning, Daniel opened his mailbox and saw her handwriting. He didn't recognize it at first, but when he did, the world fell quiet. He read every word slowly, as if she were still in the room. When he reached the last line, he closed his eyes and whispered, I love you too, Mom. Love doesn't die in silence. It only waits to be remembered. If you still have someone waiting for your call, call now.